nobody like you do. I can't lose when I'm with you. What's good, y'all? We back. It's your boy. Look at my little cat. Look at my little cat. You know what I'm saying? Hey, any of y'all, you can tell my daughter got a new bed. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, it's cute. It's cute. That is cute. But you know what I'm saying? Got my little. Damn, I figured out. Got my little kitty cat back there. You know what I'm saying? But today we are back with another video. This is men's rights versus feminists or whatever. And you know, this is always a kind of weird topic for me because I'm really, really in the middle. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like at a point in time, I was very strong as men's rights. But then when you are so strong men's rights, it's like there's a lot of like dumb niggas over there who take it to the extreme of like men's rights means men are better. So women need to shut the fuck up. So, you know, I kind of took a little left from there. Also have a daughter, 4 sisters. So I think I have a lot of little feminist ideas implanted in me just because of just being around them all the time. So we'll see where I go on this one, you know what I'm saying? So you can start texting me. All right, we're going to get straight into it right about now.
More relevant. So let's jump into our discussion between feminists and men's rights activists. Men already have all their rights. If you agree, step forward.
Do I think men have all their rights? Yes. Yes, I would say men have all their rights. Men's lives matter. Okay, I'm gonna just let y'all know this is gonna be a crazy episode, and we could tell. I know this is gonna be a crazy episode because we have one. Look at this. This is the most like, hey, strong white man, don't give a fuck about nothing. Police lies. I'm telling you, this nigga's gonna be crazy. Yeah, we got a stupid ass Pearl, bro. We got dumb ass Pearl. So we already know this shit gonna be. He just say shit to make niggas mad. So this shit gonna be interesting.
Forward. Let's start with you.
I hate the name men's rights activists because it does imply that as if our rights are being taken away. The problem that men face is more existential. The patriarchy conditions men or assigned male at birth people to pretty much just keep your feelings shut down. By age 10, your feelings don't matter. And then 12 through 13 and onwards, you just don't really feel like you matter much as a person. And I don't think anybody's disagreeing with that. Our rights aren't really under attack. Meanwhile, half of Congress hasn't codified Roe v. Wade. They're trying to control women's bodies, and it's just ridiculous. Like, our rights aren't under attack, but a lot of women's rights are, and I think it's important that we fight for that.
Right. I also think that
Bro didn't say shit. This is what I be saying. And this is really my problem with a lot of people who kind of do these shows or try to thread the needle in this middle ground. He doesn't believe this. He's just kind of in his feelings because, you know, men not being conditioned to have or express their feelings at 10, that's not a right. You know what I'm saying? So you agree with them. You think they, oh wait, no. Oh wait, no, I'm tripping. He's right. My fault. I'm tripping. He just didn't say nothing for real, but.
There's a difference between like rights and inequalities.
Yeah, of course.
So I don't think that my rights being taken away. I think that's just an effect of patriarchy.
I agree.
We're not like losing our bodily autonomy. We're not, you know, fearing for our lives walking down a dark hallway, you know. So I don't think they're
fearing for your lives walking down a dark hallway. Y'all ain't never walked around in the hood at night. Male, female, whatever. If it is pitch black and I'm walking, I'm on toes. I'm looking around. I see somebody. I don't care what it is. Man, woman, cat, dog. It's pitch black outside, bro. I'm crossing the street. There's no reason for us to be next to each other.
comparable.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think when you look at most of the world's leaders are men, most judges are men. Look at even our Supreme Court, there's 9 judges and how many are women? You know, it's the fact that women had to fight and ask to, in 1974, get access to have their own bank account, like that's absurd. That's absurd that, you know, just because there's a little clause in the Constitution that says all men being equal, they're going to play dumb and act like that means just men. It doesn't mean human. And for women to have to fight for anything to be equal to a man is just...
It's ridiculous.
It proves that men have their right. They're the ones that set the rights. They're the ones that, if that's most of our Senate, our House, our Congress, everybody, they're the ones that vote over the laws and things that get passed. They have the rights, and they're the ones that dish them out to everybody else, and you're lucky if you can get them.
And we also need to remember men's right activism. While they do have some genuine plights, it started out as a combatant to feminism. So I feel like they laid the groundwork off a very bad foundation.
No, I 100% agree. I think it's been hijacked by a lot of...
Man, get this wishy-washy men's right activist out of here, bro. I hate the wishy-washies, bro. If you come in on a fucking side, stand on your side, stand 10 toes, and die, nigga. Die there. You over here trying to, you know, I am a men's right activist, but I really do get the nah, nigga. Nah. Stand on your fucking square and get in the motherfucking paint.
Bad faith actors who blame women for problems that you should blame the patriarchy.
Exactly.
No, and it's
The
very
patriarchy.
frustrating because I'm on this side because I think that there is genuine problems that I think need to be addressed. I'm
Exactly.
sure we can all agree on
Yeah.
that.
What are some of those problems?
High suicide rates. Men are 4 times as likely to, I don't know what the TikTok version of the phrase is, but, 4 times more likely. I think that's something that should be talked about more. I think that there's also, a lot of men are very hesitant to get rid of the notions of patriarchy, whereas I've noticed a lot of women or assigned female at birth people are very willing to just throw away any notions of femininity. I think a lot of men have a lot of emotional baggage from the patriarchy that they redirect at women, and it's not fair to them,
Right.
and it's also hurting us.
Right.
And the problem is for some men, all they have is their notion of masculinity to the point that they cannot let it go, and they can't see anything else other than that. When the actuality is, again, gender isn't real. We're just plants with complicated emotions. When I look at people, I just see human-shaped flowers.
Yeah, I would agree.
I hate this nigga. I hate this nigga with a passion. I'll break down why I hate these niggas. Because people got to understand everything is okay. Like, you can think like that when you're not in a society. When stuff doesn't have to get done, there doesn't need to be roles. I can just do what I want. I can act how I want. I can be a plant this day, a dog this day. I can bark. I can speak English. I can make my own language. You can do all that when you're not in a society. When a society doesn't have roles, societies don't work. It's just what it is. Societies don't work without roles. And so when dudes kind of take this approach, it's like, yeah, like you guys believe this because you live in America and it's so easy out here that you can have this, I'm just living, like, I don't even really know what I am. I'm a flower growing and sprouting every day. Nigga, shut the F up. Like, shut up, bro. It's because of those masculine men that took on that roles and died so women could stay and all that shit. It's because of that you can act like this. So just have some respect for the dudes who still want to be like that and to say, like, yeah, I disagree, but I understand why they like that, instead of trying to disrespect the whole leadership aspect of it and the sacrifice it actually takes to be a masculine man.
I agree with you. I would say that a lot of these men's rights activists,
You
they're
got some
struggling.
titties
like you
on her,
said,
nigga.
high suicide or high self-deletion, whatever we're supposed to say. Rates.
I don't know what the word is, dude.
And the way they're coping with
unaliving
it,
themselves.
yeah, and the way that they're coping with it is by saying, okay, we're having this issue, so we need to put women back.
Exactly. It's
And
not fair.
be this, yeah, we need to take away their rights. We need this society to be the way it was, where like all the rights that were afforded to people, it was men. Men are the first people to get rights, and then other people have to, especially white men, and then everyone else has to catch up to them. And because they're struggling, they go, oh, let's turn the clock back. Number one, that's impossible. You're not going to turn the clock back. And number two, I don't think that's actually going to help the issue.
It's not going to help the issue. He'll handle it.
On the suicide thing, I do think it's important to have a little bit of nuance that women actually attempt suicide
that's
far
true.
more often. The
That is
reason
true,
why men are
yes.
more successful as is because they're more likely to own a firearm and use it.
Yes.
But in terms of
I don't think that's a fact. Like, I mean, the women attempting it more, I think, is a fact. But the firearm part, I don't know if that's a fact.
men fighting for rights. I think that like movements that attempt to fight for rights for particular groups, that sort of description should be exclusive to genuine social justice movements. You know, there may be disparities in ways in which the patriarchy does disadvantage men, but I think that you can't co-opt the language of it being a social justice, a rights-based movement.
No, that's the problem is that like I have this thing I say. I feel like saying that like men have feelings is kind of like saying all lives matter, because men only ever bring up their problems directly after women bring up theirs. So it just sounds dismissive. And that's the problem, is that for a lot of men, I think we feel so uncared for by society. We feel so like just like we don't really matter unless we prove our worth, that anytime any social movement gets any sort of traction, we just immediately just bum rush that.
And it really makes me wonder that there are rational men's rights activists, seeing as yourself, but are these people advocating, bad actors, for women's rights to be peeled back for them to feel comfortable?
I think so, because I think the problem is that a lot of men, again, people who are so rooted in their gender bother me, because it only hurts you. It only hurts other people around you. It's kind of like the idea of like, because the problem is that men are allowed to express anger, but they're not allowed to express sadness.
Right.
Women are allowed to express sadness, but you cannot express anger.
Or else they get called like a bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
I've never heard one men's rights activist talk about like men, the loneliness epidemic of men not having friends.
Without
it's
blaming
always
women.
like women's
Exactly.
problem.
No, I agree.
They don't want to date you. They don't want to
no, it's
like
stupid.
hook up
And they
with
never
you.
offer
They
any
never talk
solutions.
about, yeah.
No solutions.
exactly.
Okay, so this
Exactly.
is a great opportunity to bring.
I know. Let's stop the fucking circle jerk of just fucking dick sucking. Like, god damn, just cock and mouth. Fuck, it's just crazy, bro. Oh my god, that shit was just a whole lot of dick and fucking mouth right there, bro. Oh my god. What is this whole thing with niggas not having friends? Like, niggas have friends, bro. Dudes have friends, guys. I've never really met a guy who's like, I have no friends. Like, I have literally zero friends. I have never met a dude like that. Just in my own personal. Now, it might not be like, oh yeah, me and my dogs, we go see each other every week or da 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 da. People have stuff to do. People have lives. People have families. I don't know a single guy with zero friends. Like, what is this? Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I just don't know anybody with friends.
In our disagreeers, but I ask that we listen to what they have to say before we disagree with them.
So the perspective that I come from was about 3 years ago, I wanted to know why men didn't want to get married anymore. I kept hearing men say, I don't want to get married. And it kind of took me down the rabbit hole of family court.
I also want to say, this is why I had to stop claiming this part. People like her, and it might be people like him, but they are so far fucking left that even sounding a little bit like them just makes you seem like a fucking weirdo.
I started interviewing men that had been what's called divorce raped. And I kept finding guy after guy after guy that lived a couple miles from his kids and could not see them. It goes back to men should have access.
Hey, her face is like, we do not care. She does not give two fucks about that shit.
Access to their children. It's 50% their DNA. They should get 50% custody off the bat. And right now, 90% of the time, women get custody. The question was, do men have all of their rights? How can I...
Hold on, let me go back to that fact check. In 2018, about 4 of every 5, 80% of the 12.9 were mothers. In 2018, about 4 of every 5, 80% of the 12.9 custodial parents were mothers. I believe that.
The question was, do men have all of their rights? How can I say that they have all of their rights when I'm finding guy after guy after guy that is devastated he can't talk to his children? I had one guy who the woman got custody, and she ended up taking the kid to a different country, and now his kid doesn't speak his same language. He spent $300,000 trying to get that kid back.
I want to look at women's stories as to why they don't want to get married. And I could go interview 1,000 women. You're looking for these kinds of men.
What she's discussing are individual and yes, tragic cases, and we can acknowledge that. But what we're discussing is a systemic issue. On aggregate, men and women after divorce, women see a 27% decline in the reduction of their income. They're more likely to be in poverty, and they're less likely to get remarried.
If you go around the world, there are countries that have male-only conscription, countries that have higher pension ages for men. Countries like the US and Canada have certain welfare programs that men are excluded from, domestic violence laws, homeless laws. There are many cases where men do not have access to the same public welfare programs, tax-paid programs. And if you look at something like the draft in the US, people say, well, that's outdated, it doesn't happen anymore. But many countries in the world, included some that are considered like very first world progressive feminist countries, Austria, Finland, Switzerland, they have male-only conscription. And many countries have higher pension ages for men. So there.
I will say that is I don't think that point has any like validity, because we're definitely talking about America. Talking about all the other countries about where men are getting treated wrong. Like I said, bro, we don't care. We're not talking about them. We don't live there. Y'all don't live there. Y'all live here. Let's talk about America.
There are many examples of countries that have laws that directly discriminate against men. So do we have all the rights? I mean, no, we don't. In the US, I had to volunteer, well, not really volunteer, I wasn't given a choice, but I had to register for the draft. So that's a small example, but it's, you know, one that still goes on today.
Going back to the family court thing, because we want to talk about traditional relationships, and that's how it should be. The mom should stay home with the kids, and the dad is the provider and all that. But then when it comes to the family court, we want to be like, oh, dads need 50% custody, but you don't even know your kid. You've been off providing all this time, and the only reason now you want 50% custody is because that's the only thing that still connects you to the woman, or whatever up reason you have. But it has nothing to do with the children at heart. It has to do with, I'm their father, I deserve 50% custody. But where were you the first 10, 15 years that we were raising the kids?
That is a trash argument. That is a trash argument, and she's definitely a divorcee, and she definitely hates her ex-husband. She hates that nigga. She definitely hates that nigga, because that's the most like one-sided, I don't understand that nigga side point ever. Like, you were making the money, I was taking care of the kids. How do you take care of the kids with no money? Why do you think I go home and give you the money to take care of the kids? Because I'm just a man and that's what I do? It's because I love my fucking kids. I love my kids. And yeah, maybe what our roles is different, but that doesn't mean I don't love my kids. That doesn't mean I don't want to see my kids. And that doesn't mean I don't have a right to see my kids. Like, come on, brother. Come on. Like, that was, like I said, bro, it just gets so like, the problem I be having with the feminist is, being a feminist isn't a problem. It's you hate niggas. Like, just say it. Just say, I'm more of a men hater than a woman's right activist. That's okay.
I'm not denying that they need their mothers or their fathers more. Men and women complement each other. That is what I'm saying. Some men are more masculine, some women are more feminine. My girlfriend's more feminine, I'm more masculine. We go very well together because our values align.
What is feminine?
But hold on. What is feminine to me? She wants to take care of children. She wants to stay.
So that's feminine.
To me, it is. To me, it is. That is what I want in a woman. You can only speak from, I can name you the stats, but I'm talking about me. I'm talking as a person.
Name the stats.
So what about the stats where all the fathers leave and don't pay child support? Isn't that far more common than these men who are on
Or the men who do
they're
get the
fighting
rights.
for custody, which they only do 50% less than women do? When men want primary custody, they only file the appropriate paperwork 40% of the time. Women do it over 80% of the time, and then they complain that they're not courts don't give you something that you're not asking for. Period.
So what are you saying?
Men choose not to support their families. They waive responsibility.
Far more
Many times.
That's very
they
sexist to say that, to assume that fathers don't care about their kids.
No,
I mean,
Then why aren't they actively fighting for their kids?
they are. It
He ain't got no
wouldn't be an
daddy.
issue if it didn't happen. It's an issue.
He has no dad. He has no father. I could like some of these issues, I'd be like, bro, it's just a tad bit too close to your heart. Your dad was not there. You was raised by your mama, and I get it. I get it. And your mom was probably a very sweet woman. I could tell. Your mom, a sweetie pie. Great mom. I could definitely tell.
for a reason. There are lawyers that specialize in this.
But
They wouldn't have a business if it didn't happen.
I know at least for you and possibly for Pearl, you guys want to reaffirm traditional masculine roles, which does not assume that men are the nurturing ones. And if that's going to be the case, then you're going to continue to run into the problem where men aren't going to get custody because women are going to be seen as the nurturing gender.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
So if you don't want that to be the case, then it makes sense to stand.
Look, this nigga is hot. I don't, again, hey, bruh. Taquavius, come get your son. Taquavius, like, come on, bro. Look at what you produce, bro. This nigga is mad. He's mad as fuck. Taquavius, because you didn't take care of your son, because you ran out on that beautiful black woman, look at what you did. Look, this is the result of you, Taquavius.
With feminists and want to dismantle those sorts of norms and expectations around what it means to be a man and what it means to be a woman.
I would say it should be 50-50 custody off the bat.
Women experience more sexism than men. If you agree,
Okay, all right, y'all. So that was the first part. That was the first prompt, you know what I'm saying? And we got a lively one. I'm not gonna lie. The men's right activists on this one, I think, are kind of weak. I don't think they should have put my nigga Myron on here. They should have put my nigga Myron on here, boy. hey, even though Myron is a bigot and a hater, hey, that nigga makes great content. Fuck Pearl. Give my nigga Myron. But yeah, I definitely say men do have all the rights. We do have all the rights. There are certain injustices, you might say. That's not fair, or not even injustice, inequalities that men do have towards them that, you know, kind of hurt or just isn't really fair. But again, like I said, I think that's needed. And I think that if you truly are a masculine man, you really believe in the traditional values and everything, then I would say that you think those are okay. Like, I do think that moms, if you're saying moms are the nurturers, they are the nurturers, and a man who gets a woman pregnant should have to help out with that. But he also should have a right to see his kids. You know what I'm saying? Custody might not be 50-50, but it shouldn't be one sole person has custody. One sole person has say. One might have a little bit more say